Hello everyone, this is Chandrasekhar. Welcome to my channel. One of the most overwhelming fact for any of the aspirant who wants to learn DevOps in 2026 is that DevOps is having wide range of tools. There are so many tools, hundreds of tools in DevOps landscape, and normally aspirant gets confused which tool to learn to excel in DevOps because there are so many. Having confusion is quite evident. But in this video, I'll talk about which is the most widely used tool in 2026 in DevOps landscape, which you need to learn to excel to get a proper job. So please watch this video till the end to understand it so that you get complete idea on which all tools you need to learn to excel in DevOps. I'll break entire tool in different categories. I'll start with operating system because that is very much important. Operating system. So now in operating system, you can have knowledge in Windows operating system or Linux operating system. But now almost 90%, more than 90%, I'll say, of organizations strive on Linux operating system. So having knowledge of Linux operating system will be very much important in learning DevOps, in complete learning roadmap of DevOps. In Linux, which operating system, which distribution? Because in Linux, we do have wide list of distribution. We have Red Hat Enterprise Linux, CentOS, Ubuntu, Fedora. Which one to learn? So the one which you must learn is Ubuntu. Ubuntu will be important one for you to learn. Why Ubuntu? Because Ubuntu is free. You will be able to learn Ubuntu. You will be able to get knowledge, sufficient knowledge of Ubuntu operating system by perhaps working on your Windows laptop also. In Windows laptop, we have something to which we call as WSL, which you can easily configure and learn Ubuntu. Ubuntu is also one of the most widely operating system at this point. Once you get to know about Ubuntu, another question comes is what to learn. Should I be a master of these operating systems? Should I be a master of Ubuntu? So the answer is no. You do not need to be master of operating system. You do not need to be master of Ubuntu, but having a fundamental knowledge at this point of time to begin with, having a fundamental knowledge will work. When I say fundamental knowledge, it's commands, its usage of commands will be enough. You do not need to be master to begin with in your learning of DevOps. After you get to know about fundamentals of operating system, next comes version control system, versioning. That is again very important, which you need to learn. At least you should have knowledge in versioning of your code base, in having the knowledge of tools which is used to version your code base. In order to do that, we have the one of the most widely used versioning tool, which is Git and GitHub. So if you get to have knowledge in Git or GitHub, it's enough. There are other tools also like GitLab, Bitbucket, but having knowledge of one version controlling tool like Git or GitHub will be enough for you at this point. Next comes scripting. Scripting will be again one of the very important thing which you need to understand. In scripting, if you have knowledge in shell or in bash, it is enough. No need to explore more, no need to get into much in depth in shell bash. If you have again fundamentals of scripting, for loop, if loop, some conditions, it will be enough for you to begin with. Next comes infrastructure as a code. Nowadays, every company is going towards automation. Automation in building infrastructure. Infrastructure as a code helps a lot in automating deployment or build of infrastructure. Having knowledge of Terraform in infrastructure as a code is very important, will play a vital role in 2026. Other than Terraform, there are a couple of other ISE tool, which is Pulumi, Crossplane, OpenTofu, many other are there, but Terraform still gets an edge because it's of course free of cost for individual users. For enterprise platform, it could be licensed, but as far as you being used for learning purpose, it is absolutely free of cost. So even no need to worry about costing while learning infrastructure as a code. Next comes configuration management tool. This is again a very important tool which you need to focus on. In configuration management tool, having knowledge of Ansible will be enough. Ansible still is the configuration management tool, which is widely used in many companies in IT industry. Other than configuration management tool, you must have knowledge in container orchestration engine like Docker. Docker is still the first choice of IT industry for containerization, for managing applications to be deployed in containers. Other than Docker, there are a couple of other tools as well, like Podman, but still Docker usage is very high. Containerization by using Docker still gets better advantage on any other tool. Once you learn Docker, then you can go and think about learning in Podman, but that will be a latter point of discussion. Other than this, you must have knowledge in Kubernetes, containerization, orchestration. You must have knowledge in this also. So once you learn Docker, you must have knowledge in Kubernetes as well. Now, Kubernetes, if you're not learning Kubernetes, if you just stop after learning Docker, then certainly you will be lagging behind. Doesn't matter which domain you belong to, what sort of your daily activities are. If you're a developer, testing engineer, you must have to learn Kubernetes. Otherwise, you will definitely stay behind. Now, Kubernetes is also changing a lot. So while learning Kubernetes, you need to pay attention on its networking concept nowadays, which is very widely used, which is very widely asked by interviewer. Initially, for networking, the first choice of IT industry was to use Ingress, which is now getting changed to Gateway API. So you need to learn all those things. How to work on custom objects in Kubernetes, you need to think after that part also. So learning of custom objects, learning of custom resources, secrets, learning of networking part will be very important concepts to learn in Kubernetes. And you must learn these things in Kubernetes. So container orchestration, containerization. Docker will be a containerization tool, which you need to learn. And Kubernetes will be container orchestration tool, which you need to focus on while learning while having your journey in DevOps learning in 2026. Other than this, you must have knowledge in package management also. In package management, you can have knowledge of two tools. One is Helm, and another one is Customize. So either you learn Customize. So you have to learn both Helm and Customize in order to understand package management properly. They are going to help you to understand entire flow of package management once you get to know about this. They are mostly same, but they are different in certain purposes, which once you start learning, you will get to know. Also, in my upcoming sessions, I'll create separate videos for Helm and Customized. Now, another thing is CI/CD, which is the heart, which is the soul of entire DevOps framework. Having knowledge of CI/CD will be very, very important. Now, there are so many tools in CI/CD landscape. There are wide range of tools, and normally aspirants, normally learners get confused which CI or which CD tool to learn. So now, in order to get into this landscape of CI/CD, if you have knowledge in GitHub Action, GitHub Action, along with Argo CD, it will be enough for you. Or if you have knowledge of GitLab along with Argo CD, it will be enough for you. Because what you're getting when you're learning this, you're getting a CI, you're getting a CI here, and with this, you'll be getting CD. So one tool in CI, one tool in CD will be enough. There could be questions on other tools also, but then you can explain that the working knowledge that you do have working knowledge in GitHub Action or GitLab along with Argo CD and Argo CD for continuous deployment, which works quite similar the way other tool does. Interviewers will understand about it. Other than this, having knowledge of observability will be very important. With the knowledge of observability, you will be able to certainly get certain advantage with which interviewer will understand that you do have knowledge of entire flow of DevOps, entire flow of DevOps usage in industries. In observability, you need to focus on three different things. First thing would be monitoring. Second thing will be logging. And third thing will be tracing. You should have knowledge in all the three things. In monitoring, you can learn Prometheus or Grafana, Prometheus or Prometheus and Grafana, Grafana. In logging, if you have knowledge in ELK stack, that will be enough. In tracing, having a knowledge of OTel, Open Telemetry, OTel will be important. Now, there could be some questions from interviewer wherein they may ask you about your experience in Datadog and Dynatrace. But if you say that you have already experience there in monitoring, logging, and tracing and different tools in these all categories, they will be happy with that. They will understand for sure. Other than this, you need to have knowledge in at least one of the cloud platform. We have AWS, Azure, and GCP in this domain. You must have knowledge in at least one of the three cloud platform properly. Now, a bigger question comes, which specific service in each cloud I need to have knowledge in. So you need to have understanding of at least all the important services which is used in cloud. I'll explain in terms of AWS so that you will understand, you will be able to apply it in your real time. So in AWS, I'll categorize it into various categories. In AWS, it can be categorized into very smaller categories, like it can be compute, compute, IAM, it can be networking and storage, networking and storage. This will be one group. Other than that, you must have to learn about container orchestration engine. Having knowledge of database will be very much important. And monitoring and logging will again play important role here too, because with that interview will understand that you do have knowledge of entire workflow of DevOps. And once you get to know about these all services, having knowledge of automation, serverless, and scalability will be very important. So automation, serverless, and scalability will play important role here also. Now, each of the at least one service in each category will help you a lot in getting a job, in getting good job. Having at least knowledge of one service in each category will be important. Like in computing, you must have knowledge in EC2. In IAM, you must have knowledge in IAM service. In networking, having knowledge of VPC will be important. In storage, having knowledge of S3 will be important. In container orchestration, we have EKS, we have ECR. Having knowledge of this will be important. In database, having knowledge of RDS will be important. In monitoring and logging, having knowledge of CloudWatch will be important. Now, when we talk about automation, serverless, and scalability, in automation, we have AWS config, AWS CloudFormation template, CFT will be important. In serverless, having knowledge of Lambda will be important. In scalability, having knowledge of auto scaling and API gateway will play a vital role. Auto scaling and API gateway will be very important. So if you get to know about these all these all category of services, it will be very essential for you. It will be very helpful for you. And this should be your roadmap in learning DevOps in 2026. To give a quick recap, you no need to have knowledge in everything, all the DevOps tools. If you have knowledge of certain category of tools, it will be very much important. It will be essential. It will be enough for you. On OS, having knowledge of Linux operating system, versioning, scripting, ISC, different set of tools in each category. In under configuration items, Ansible still is having a winning edge. Under containerization, having knowledge in Docker will be important. For container orchestration engine, having knowledge in Kubernetes will be important. For package management, Helm and Customize will be important. CI/CD, having one CI tool and having one CD tool knowledge will be important. Observability will help you to gain edge because normally other DevOps engineers perhaps won't have knowledge in observability. But if you get knowledge in observability, you will have an edge, you will have one advantage there. And certainly having knowledge of one cloud platform, either AWS or Azure or GCP will be important. In each platform, having knowledge of one service in each category, like in AWS for compute service, it's EC2. For in Azure, it's virtual machine. Having knowledge of at least one service in each category will be important for you to get a job. In my upcoming sessions, I'll create full videos for AWS full course, Azure full course, and GCP full course to keep you informed, to keep you learned about these all tools, to keep you learned about these all services. Thank you for watching my video till the end. If you like it, please subscribe it. And if you want others to be benefited with my video, please share it.